Hello and welcome to another edition of Droppin Baums with me, your host, Corey Baumeister. As always, brought to you by the lovely folks over at StarCityGames.com, bringing you the best in trading card and online tournament needs. So today we're going to be playing a little mono green ramp in Historic. You'll notice this deck is very similar to what one of our own, Todd Anderson, broke it with repeatedly in Pioneer. Some of these cards are banned in Pioneer, Leyline of Abundance being the one I'm looking at. And we're playing a format that is, not as old as Pioneer. So I don't see why this deck isn't broken. My buddy Steven Saul showed me this list. I made very few changes to the main deck and a few changes to the post board, but I have just been dominating with this deck and absolutely loving it. It is very powerful, and being able to go turn 2 either Vivian or Karn or turn 3 Nissa. We've seen this in Standard plenty of times. Whenever you get to do this, it's usually GG, pretty hard to come back. And now we just have 12 of these Planeswalkers that are all pretty much GG. They all serve an insane purpose at closing out the games and diversifying your battlefield. That's the main thing. Is if we're just a deck with a bunch of elves and some high finishers, like Hydroid Krasis or something, if we ever get wrathed, if they ever destroy our board, all of a sudden we have nothing. So what you have to do is you have to be ramping and playing one of these Planeswalkers so you can diversify your threat. Karn goes and gets you a plethora of good artifacts. Vivian beefs up a few creatures and then also goes and gets Ulamog or Platinum Angel or something like that. And then Nissa just goes so wide that it works well with the rest of the deck. So, being able to play a Planeswalker for 4 mana on turn 2 is still pretty busted, especially if you're on the play. So I absolutely love this deck. You can fast forward to any of the matches below, as well as the deck tech at the end, where I talk about a few changes that I would make, and there's a few, as well as I talk about the specific matches and stuff like that. So if you don't want any spoilers, watch the matches first and then head on over to the deck tech. So, all right, everybody, without any further ado, enjoy the games. All right, and welcome to round number 1 here with Mono Green Ramp in Historic. First one's a little bit of a sketchy hand, but I think I'm going to keep. If we top deck a land in 2 turns, then we can turn 2 Vivian, and that's really what this deck is all about. Turn 2 Planeswalkers is your best draw. Turn 3 Nissa, also very good. Even just ramp creatures into just pumping them with Leyline. Leyline's one heck of a powerful enchantment here, so I'm going to keep it. I think this hand is good enough. Yes, Leyline. All right, now, well, perfect. So just don't kill our elf. And then we got Vivian. Otherwise, we can reevaluate, just do Paradise Druid or something like that. But okay. We just go for the Planeswalker. Vivian. All right. 2 counters on this. Okay. A gross spiral strategy. So now Field of the Dead is banned as of today. I record this a little bit earlier than when this comes out on Wednesday. But yeah, we don't have to deal with Field of the Dead. So I wonder what we're playing against now. Everything's going to be quite new. That leads me to believe that they're Landlight. Bunch of Triomes. So we're a 4-color deck. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. I kind of just want to go Wolfwillow Haven and Paradise Druid and just tick up and get in there for 5. So I do want to pressure as well as ramp. So that leads me with 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If we do play Goose, that is just Ulamog next turn, but then we're really overextending. Or we could be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Could put Paradise Druid and both Wolfwillows into play and try to do that. I think getting in 5 damage is probably worth it here. So we're going to go like this. Yeah, because this is 4 mana, so I could Haven. I could play my whole hand, and maybe that's correct. All right. We're jamming. Now I want to get my creature out of languish range, I guess. So that's something they could definitely have. All right, here we go. Dumped my hand on turn 3. Golos. There's no more Field of the Dead, so what are you Golosing for? Yeah, I was going to say, are they trying to think that they're going to get enough lands to activate this? All right, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Get Ulamog. Bang. Let's get Golos and this land out of here. Let's get in a nice attack for 5 and say, good luck, opponent. Your go. God, this deck is insane. Not another Golos. What well will you do? All right, so I'm guessing we're just going to pump Llanowar and Ulamog. That is 17 damage. They can live by putting 5 in front. I guess we can attack with Paradise Druid as well. Okay. So let's see if we can activate this. We can. That is more damage than a Paradise Druid attacking anyway, so we might as well do that. Okay. Now we shall pump this and this. This is the max amount of damage, so it doesn't really matter if what else the play was. I guess we get to see what they're playing now. Approach, Wrath, Ugin. So just a normal ramp deck that finishes. Oh, I didn't even see it was Xaxes. Nice. Xaxes. What a way to start this week's Droppin Bomb. I love it. And here's the beauty of this deck. Submit. I mean, okay, we don't always submit, but very, very close to always. So it's an easy deck to play that I think is very powerful. It's good for best of 1 because you get to utilize your sideboard where others don't. And then it's just dominant during best of 3. You saw my ranking there. I was ranked 19th, and I did pretty well preparing for last week's standard championship qualifier number 4. But in between rounds, all I was doing was playing this. And I didn't do very well in the tournament, so I was playing a lot in between rounds. I got to high mythic with this deck, so I highly recommend it. I really don't think I want to change anything except maybe adding a Mize Mind Tome, but nah. Greater Elder Gargaroth is like the one card I really bring in consistently against aggressive decks, and I usually bring it in against like mono red when they have the Chain Whirler, the Chain Mother. And that's just, you know, upgrading and getting like Paradise Druids out of there because they're so vulnerable to that card. Other than that, you know, sideboard, easy deck to play, super fun. It's hard in the turns where you have to search for Karn targets or search for Vivian targets, but I mean, otherwise it's pretty easy. Ramp, keep your good hands, but then it's complicated towards the end stretch of the games. We'll keep this. It's not a turn 2 Vivian, but it is still turn 2. Oh, it is still a turn 2 Visionary, and then one of our Planeswalkers into the other one after that. Growth Spiral. Man, I'm not sick of seeing that card. Okay, hey, there's Nissa. So we could go Wolf Haven plus Goose. That does guarantee Nissa, and right now we don't have Nissa, so I actually think this one's worth it. Okay. Turn 3 Nissa is quite powerful. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, Nissa, then we untap and can play Visionary next turn. Or if we top deck a land, we can, you know, kind of go bananas. Do they have... That's not a Wrath. That's not a Wrath of God. All right, they do have Ugins, though, so we do have to kind of hustle. Yeah, so we'll get a Spyglass on Ugin as soon as possible, essentially. All right. Attack. Visionary. Hopefully get a land because we're pretty susceptible to Wrath right now. We can still cast Karn or something next turn, so it's not the worst, but it is kind of brutal that we wanted to enchant the one with the Wolfhaven, but I think it's worth it because the odds of you hitting a land to actually net 1 mana are pretty high, and if you don't, they still have to have it. So, and now they don't, so we're sitting pretty good. But they could Ugin next turn, so I'm pretty sure it just has to be Karn the Great Creator. Worst case, we just name Golos Tireless Pilgrim. Okay. We're not going to attack with this, or this, or really anything, so... So how about... Wait a minute. Okay, Leyline's got to be free here. It's just got to be. We have this many creatures. So let's start with this. 5 mana. Animate. Now let's see how much mana we have. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we start with Karn. It's just gotta be Spyglass, I imagine. Spyglass. Ugin. Damn, they still got a nice turn, though. Ugin the Spirit Dragon. Yeah, I mean, then they are going to get our whole board, though. But we do have Planeswalkers. We just need to top deck land. So then we'll say go. That's pretty brutal. We'll see if they go for approach. I don't think they can. I don't think they can. And then we can start attacking with Spyglass at worst case. It's not pretty, but... We get to block with Goose, make a food here or something. Wow. Okay. I mean, I might just be able to Ulamog. Oh, no, I can't get Ulamog. That's right. Okay, so what can we get? Let me double check. Always have a list up ready for this. God Pharaoh's statue. That's pretty good. The Great Henge. Meteor Golem. Akroma's Memorial. Does that just end it? Probably not. Wand, Tome, Lotus. Yeah, it's just got to be God Pharaoh's statue here. So that stops us from dying to another approach right away. Yeah, let's go like this. Now, can't really attack because they're still gonna Wrath. So 1, 2. I can play another Leyline. 4, 5, and then Vivian. So that Llanowar Visionary is going to add 1, 2, 3. Okay. 4, Vivian. Since Wrath basically has to happen, I don't think I want to do anything weird here, like animate this. So I think I just put 2 counters on this. Don't activate, or I activate because I can ultimate next turn. Or I can play another Karn here while I have the mana. All right, I think I like this. 4. Karn. Search. Guess I could have got a Chroma's Memorial. Oh, no, it doesn't give it indestructible. Okay, okay. Great Hand, Meteor Golem. Could do Maze Mind Tome. Then they can attack Karn though, so I can't play it. Had to pick something because I was running out of time. I don't know if that's right. We're gonna say go. Lose a life. That was a wild turn. That was a wee bit of a wild turn. I love this deck, y'all. Yep, we had to picture that. They should have attacked, but it didn't really matter. Okay. So, I think we need to ultimate. Now, do we want to attack with statue? Probably. Emblem. No more dead land draws now. Did I get them all? Oh, there's one sneaky land. Okay. Yeah, that would be the worst top deck one of these lands. So let's bang. 8/8 Godpharaoh statue when statues attack back. Huh. Okay. Gross Spiral resolves. Your 4-mana Spiral. They're getting pretty close to approach, though. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like, really close, right? So I have to end this, which I basically can do right now with Ulamog. Okay, so... God, I love this deck. Ulamog. Bang, bang. Yes! Oh, baby. That is just too good. All right, that's 1-0 with Mono Green Ramp here in Historic. Stay tuned. Let's win them all. Okay, see you soon. And welcome to round number 2 here with Mono Green Ramp in Historic. All right, we are on the draw. We got the ley line. This is turn 3 Nissa. That's about all you can ask for, so I am in. Play the ley line. Goose is the worst 1-drop, so that is a little unfortunate. AK, we just can't really use it on turn 1. Or turn 2, excuse me, but still completely fine. Okay, another ramp deck. Okay. Yeah, I think just this and go. I mean, we could play the other Goose, but it doesn't really pay right now. We'll have 1 extra mana probably next turn, so for now, we'll just say go. It does play around a spot removal, but with it just being a blue-green ramp deck as far as we can see, with Desert, so I'm assuming we have like Hour of Promise and stuff like that. No real reason to accelerate into that. Or play around a spot removal. Sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought. A bunch of deserts, huh? Okay, well, 1, 2... 3, 4, 5... Okay, we actually can Nissa and Vivian here. This is going to be bananas. All right, but we want to attack first, get our damage in. Bang. Vivian. Add mana to pool. Now we want to just keep pumping the forest. And we got that 1 extra mana. Might as well. Oh, I said nice. I don't get to say thanks. Yeah, that's a pretty solid turn 3. It's probably just going to be a funnel mana into Leyline turn. There's no real reason to play this. So, I mean, we can just play Ulamog, I guess, huh? That's probably better. All right, so 5, 6, 7... 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We have 14 mana. Yeah, I don't see why we don't want to just play a good old Ulamog. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Ulamog. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we were just doing the math on how to maximize our damage there, but semantics. Ulamog was going to end that game because you can't really Ugin. Ugin was probably what they were trying to set up, but you don't even kill the lands off Nissa because they are colorless, so we weren't even that afraid of that. And here's the joy of this matchup as well. No sideboarding. For those of you who really like best of one, because sideboarding's a big challenge, this is a good deck to segue you in because, well, you don't have to sideboard. It really is just all your silver bullets. If you're siding any of them in, there's some good cards against whatever decks we're playing. We don't really know exactly what our opponent's playing because we won pretty quickly, but there's good cards you can bring in, but then you got to think about it. I'm now lessening my chance to draw these good cards. So if you bring in Spyglass against a Planeswalker deck, you draw Karn, you don't have Spyglass now, you know? So you almost always want to keep your cards in the graveyard or in the sideboard. This one's a little iffy, but this still can be a turn 3 Planeswalker as well as if we draw like a 1-mana card. This hand is bananas, so I'm going to keep it. Leyline. Yeah, a Llanowar Elf here or a Goose would just be so good. No such luck. That's okay. We still got turn 3 Planeswalker, turn 4 Planeswalker at worst. Trying to kill this. Hey, right on time. Okay. Yeah. That's something we definitely do not want anymore, so decline. It's a very good Ether Gust target because it's very rare you want that again. All right, so it's probably just going to be Vivian O'Clock, especially since we have an extra one. A dry Vivian. Yeah, perfect. Didn't want it. Okay. Now I think it's just a couple of elves. We'll start with the Visionary. And Llanowar, your go. Now try for a Nissa next turn. They're not doing too much, so it leads me to believe they have more negates and stuff. Or this could just be an hour. Make a couple zombies, but not as many as you would before. Okay, now the question is it worth playing Nissa into a pretty obvious negate? And I think the answer to that is no. So I think I'd rather go Vivian plus Visionary? We want to be aggressive so that Ugin just doesn't clean our clocks anyways. So I think I want to play Vivian just to play around Mystical Dispute right now. I know that's not the best, but that's one thing to play around that maybe they couldn't have before. Yeah, I'll try it. Okay. I favor another Visionary drawing a card instead of 3 damage here. Okay. Oh, it doesn't even counter it. Supreme Will. Okay, now it's Nissa time. Okay. Those zombies do not look as scary as the Field of the Dead zombies. So let's go like this. Okay. Now we're going to get in there. See what they do. I'm a little afraid of Ugin now. Yeah, especially with that block. That definitely signifies Ugin. So I don't think I even want to play these. Not that they're going to do much in the face of Ugin, but this has just got to be an Hour of Promise Ugin deck. So I'm actually going to leave the token behind next turn. Okay. Or leave the land behind, I should say. Sure. We want a Karn. Karn would be great. That's not a Karn. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess we tap that. 5. Make a wolf. We're going to attack with the visionaries. It's just reeks of Ugin. And these still aren't worth it. We're just going to say go. I'm guessing this is a deck that just plays like 3 or 4 Ugin of the Spirit Dragons. Okay, that's a good play. Karn. Okay. So now if they want to take out Nissa, they have to take it out. Okay, so if I tick up, if they take up to 7 and kill this, then I have 4, 5. Yeah, I can't kill it regardless, so let's play the goose. Doesn't really matter. Just counter spells, ramp, all the goods. So if they have a good follow-up, that's a good follow-up. I want a Karn. Okay. I thought this was going to just be a beating, but, you know, a bunch of Gus, counter spells is actually a better way to attack this mono green deck. That and sweepers. I think those are the 2 ways to really challenge it. We drew a lot of lands here on the stretch where we really needed to draw something, but it's still not over quite yet. We need like a Voracious Hydra or Karn or something to stay in it, but that's doable. Another Nissa. So 2 Nissa lands. It's only attacking this for 4. Okay. Yeah, let's just play it. I don't know if it's necessarily correct, but don't really want to attack. So if they -5, at least I can kill this. That's the goal. Create a food. I guess I maybe wanted to chump block with that. Ugin the Land Killer. So much better when we don't see a field trigger every time a land comes into play, though. God, that land was so oppressive to the format. Okay. I will have to chump. 6, 7. What is this? This can't be good. Is this just a fresh Ugin? Oh, big jelly, huh? Okay. That's not good. Yeah, we can't beat it. A little too late there. Drew a lot of lands at the end. Okay. Still don't think there's anything we want to sideboard. I'm just kind of making a visual note of, I mean, I know what's in the board, but just double checking What's going to be good against them? Spyglass, Cage for Uro. God, maybe Platinum Angel. I bet they can't kill a Platinum Angel. I bet they can't. That might be a last-ditch effort to just put them away, but blue-green, I mean, they can Ugin +1. Yeah, I bet they can if I just don't attack. But you never know. All right, so we'd like to play first. Turn 3, Planeswalker, I think is good enough, but this is also kind of weak. We'd love something to cast next turn. But if they like hold up Ether Gust mana, we can just like Karn them instead. Ooh, nice. No, no, no. All right, that's Nissa next turn. Play something. Dang it. So Aether Gust, they probably wouldn't have Aether Gust this. So it could be Negate, could be Gust. I think we just go for the home run here and try for Nissa. But I could see Vivian first. Vivian first, make him deal with Llanowar, and then Nissa? Okay. I think Vivian is the worst one in our hand, so I think I'd rather get that countered. Okay. I mean, now we can go... Now we can Nissa and Karn if they don't have it, so I think it's worth it. We can actually play our hand if they don't counter this. Okay. Now we just pray they don't have another one. This has not been going well for us. Counterspell is surprisingly pretty good against the mono green deck. You would think not, but... Okay. So we could go Leyline and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then cast stuff. Might as well. Leyline. Punished. Do we want to draw that? Kind of. But kind of not. I think I'd rather make a food here. Okay. We're probably going to cage it first, but we might have to Ugin. Oh, no, they didn't have it. Create a food. Four, 1, 2, 3, 4. Verdict is counter unless they pay 3. It's a mana leak. Yeah, whatever. We're all in. Okay. All right, I think we have to start with Cage. Yeah. And I think it's worth it to attack now. No real point in the food. Yep. You can't bring Earl back. Yep. Seems to me like they're digging. Card on top. Okay. All right, so I think we want to first try to get the spyglass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can do the statue if we wanted, but I think spyglass is more important. Spyglass. Okay, that's pretty good. Ugin, the spirit dragon. Vivian. No essence scatter for you. All in on the lawnmower. All right, now we can probably Ulamog next turn. 5, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. We need a land. Dang. Okay. That's okay. Okay. So we don't really want to play a creature. I mean, we can go get a creature right now, but that doesn't pay too much. We want to just let them giant crisis. That doesn't feel good either. All right. So 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, one short of Ulamogging. It's not even that great right now. So I think we just pump. I don't want to target anything with that. And I think we just say go, as sad as it is. So they can crisis for 8. Crisis for 6 with Scatter Up. That makes sense. And we can just exile the crisis itself, let it get countered, and be cool with that. Or we can get a statue. Statue does seem pretty good. Create food. Aether Gust. Okay, do we actually want that? I don't think so. So now we do have 10 mana. So we could like go get statue plus plus something else. Let me take a peek here. We can get the wand. We can get Platinum Angel. That's probably good. Oh, we can get Behemoth. No, that's not an artifact. Statue. Digger's Cage. Chroma's Memorial. Meteor Golem. Can just Meteor Golem this thing. That's probably good. 7 mana. 6, 7. And we can Vivian, so that's actually pretty good. So let's resolve it and take action. Okay. All right. Meteor Golem. Six, seven. Did I do my math wrong? I sure did. 4, 6, 7. Yeah, I totally did. Dang it. Well, I still think we want to do this. Get in there with the goose. Yeah, that wasn't great. I was really thinking we could have Vivian there. What was I thinking? 6, 7. Yeah, I was just wrong. Dang it. That could cost me. Okay. Elder Guggeroth. That's pretty good. Okay, I think we just want to do enough just to be able to block and Ulamog or something. So what would we want to block with? This has trample. Well, one on each of these, and we can block. Yeah, that seems good. Okay. Dig, dig, dig. Okay, I'm just making sure I can't activate. That's smart. Draw any card. What don't I want to lose? The Llanowar. So with that being the case, I can go like this and this, I guess. Or I just have to gang block it. No, let's try this. Yep. Uh-oh. That can't be good. 4, 5. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. That's strong. Exile for 4. So now we really need like a Nissa. Really need a Nissa now. I guess they weren't cold to platinum. Nissa, Nissa, Nissa. Oh, we're dead. I guess we go like this. Tick up. Nothing. Now Nissa's still an out, essentially, because we can pump it, even though they're going to ping here, but I think we need it next turn. But yeah, they played great. They played great Magic this match. This is one of the few matches I've lost to this deck in a lot, I mean, ever, because I just started playing it over the weekend, and I have not been doing a lot of losing, but they played well. They deserved this one. Okay. We had that big key mistake by putting Vivian on top that I think was a little bit too bad to come back from, so yeah, GG. GG. Okay, well, we're not going to get our 3-0 this time, y'all, but mono green is still the truth. We're going to try to salvage that 2-1. Stay tuned for the final round. All right, and welcome to our third and final game here with mono green ramp in historic, and finally we get the die roll here. It's very important to have the die roll with this deck. God, if we know there's a land on top, it's really, really good. I think it's still fine, but of course this can backfire on us. I'm gonna keep, but this is the low end of the keep. Because worst case scenario, we go turn 2 Goose, and then turn 3 Haven into Paradise Druid, and best case we get to do a little bit more than that. Oh. Hit him with an oops. All right, it'll be interesting to take the top end or the low end. All right, well, they got us. Still think it's worth it. That was probably the worst draw. No, at least we get to discard it. Forest. All right, hit him with that. Get him with the old attack with the goose, and here go. All right, now if we draw a land, we can do this, but of course they're going to collapse on our lands. The goose doesn't do anything. Okay. This is brutal. Now we can druid or just make a food. I think making a food is better here. Because if they have a discard spell, like a Karaksa, we can just discard druid and hope to draw land. Black-red. Yeah, I can imagine this would be a little bit of a rough matchup. But if we ever just land the Planeswalkers, it feels really good. So we'll see. Okay. No Nissa this turn. No Karn either, but at least we got this. Karn getting Cage is insane. Alright, just don't have 1 mana removal. Okay. I think it's better to go Karn and Cage. Karn, Cage. Ooh. Land. Oh, yes. Because their lands do not untap. So we are going to Karn. We are going to get a Cage. And say go. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see what else we can get. I think we can get, yeah, Maze Mine Tome seems great. This seems pretty bad. Yeah, let's just get the Tome. Rebuild. And say go. Now they have nothing, because they cannot bring back Karaksa. They're not even going to use this. Yeah, I was going to say. Okay. Alright, draw a card. Let's draw another card. Goose. Druid. Tick up on nothing. And say go. We have no cards to discard, so that's sweet. Hazarino. The old Hazarino. Okay, well, we'll block that. All right, now we have 2, 4, 5, 6 mana. What can we get with 6? We can get a wand. God Pharaoh's statue. No, that was a good draw. That was a good draw on their part. I don't know if the wand exiles, though. Let me double check. If the wand exiles, I think I like that. Forgot. Destroy target creature. Yeah, okay. Doesn't do what we want. So Chroma's Memorial is what we really want. Oh, wait. Can we cast that? 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. But we cannot... Oh. Yeah, we can strap one of our cards to it, huh? Okay. Oh, no. We can't do both of those. So I think we just draw a card. See what we get. Okay, so now we can go like this. And make a wolf. Might as well. And tick up on nothing. And now we hope to Akroma's Memorial next turn and go to town with that. Old Hazarino here is not going to be good enough. So we'll have one blocker here, and it's protection from red and black, so that should do it. All right, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not enough, so we'll go like this. Strike, protection from red and black. Okay. Sure. Your go. Now, good luck. Okay. God, I love this deck. It's so fun. Okay, so if we do have to discard a card, they do get, yeah. You can't beat on Akroma's Memorial. Most decks just are cold to one of the cards in our sideboard. Just so happens that that is a good chunk of them. Okay, so Elder Gargaroth. Pretty good if it lands, but they have a ton of removals, so probably not worth it. Yeah. Shocking, we didn't sideboard this entire Droppin Bombs. Shocked. Okay. A lot of hand disruption, so we want to keep basically anything as long as the hand is playable. Not too much power mulliganing against a red-black deck. It's playable. It's playable. It's not great, but it's pretty redundant too. So, and Leyline's our best card, and we for sure get to sneak that into play. So I'm in. Okay, Lawnmower. Okay, so now let's just try to dump our hand. All right, so 1, 2. And I think we might be able to. Pretty close. Your go. We have an absurd amount of mana now. You got a Thoughtseize. Dang it, that's pretty good. Oh, if it's a land, okay, that's not so bad. All right, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can activate this. So let's do that. Sadly, we have to tap Paradise Druid. Okay, so same thing. Can't really make a wolf quite yet. Okay. Can cast this. We had 2 extra mana. Can attack because we need the mana to funnel into Leyline. Probably just have a bunch of hand disruption in their hand. They're going to concede, I bet, either next turn or the turn after and realize they can't win. Okay. Bantu's Last Reckoning would be my guess. So let's block here. Just in case it's something weird like Anger the Gods or something, we're just going to only block 1. They can get us with the 1 damage. All right, well, they did get us with that attack, essentially. Because I could have kept that Llanowar alive, so maybe that was bad. Okay. Now, do we just want to get... either a Spyglass or a Tome? or just a cage. They have a Hezeret. This is pretty bad. So they're going to do that. Maybe they took out Croxa as well, but... Now we'll just do statue next turn, more than likely. At least we got something in play. Your go. Okay. So now we get to do this plus a wolf. Now we might as well, since we saw anger, we might as well try to get it out of anger range. Now we have 5, 6, 7, only 7 mana though. Yep, you got me. Okay. Behemoth, yeah, Behemoth I think was just lethal next turn as well, so that does it. Mono Green Machine, close to 3-0. Unfortunately, we did not take down round number 2. But stay tuned for the deck tech where, you know, not too much we can talk about, but we will talk about things we liked and things we didn't like. So see you over there. All right, and welcome to the deck tech here with Mono Green Ramp in Historic, the format that has now opened up quite a bit with the banning of Field of the Dead. The decks that were being controlled by Field of the Dead are able to run a little bit more rampant now, you know, and we're going to start to see a big dynamic shift because Field of the Dead is such an oppressive card. We're going to start seeing control decks. We're going to start seeing new various of ramp decks, kind of like we saw at a good chunk of those rounds. See some good Rakdos popping up, but so far, this is the deck that I have loved. I loved this even pre-Field of the Dead. I had a pretty good matchup against Field anyways. You aren't really too afraid of that because you go over the top with like a Chroma's Memorial against them. God Pharaoh's Statue is really good to get them pretty early on. Just a lot of stuff that made it kind of a non-factor, to be honest. So let's talk about the deck. Everybody's playing a little bit different of variations when it comes to their mono green deck, and most of them aren't playing Leyline, and I think that is absolutely crazy. That card is banned in Pioneer. It's banned because this deck was too powerful, and all we're doing is just playing Historic, which arguably is more powerful anyways, but it's just so good of a card. People are playing like Elder Gargaroth and stuff, and the whole point of this deck is if you get your early ramp creatures killed and stuff like that, it's pretty bad. So here we're playing Voracious Hydra instead. It is the worst card in the deck, so I could see it being something else, but it really does some absolutely crazy things. But honestly, in my opinion, this is the only card that I think you can change in the 75, is this 4 of. Everything else is pretty stock, and you just need it all. So we want as many 1-drops as we can here. So Gilded Goose, Llanowar Elf. Gilded Goose is much worse because it's a one-time effect. But in some race-like matchups against Mono Red, making food, gaining 3 life a turn is valuable. So it's not completely bad. Then we got Paradise Druid and Wolf Willow Haven as our other ramp. Wolf Willow Haven pairs pretty nicely with, you know, just the general ramp style of the deck, but also it's pretty good at, like, when you have Nissa, untap your Haven, all of a sudden your land now adds 3. It can be a creature late game as well as a ramp spell, so it's a pretty versatile slot. I actually think I want to turn one of these Voracious Hydras to another Wolf Willow Haven, because if you don't have that turn 3 or faster Planeswalkers, the deck isn't as good. You know, ramping, if you're going turn 1 elf, turn 2 double elf or something, and then turn 3, like, you know, you don't have a Planeswalker to ramp into and you just jam more elves out there, then you're really vulnerable to sweepers. And the whole point of this deck is to make sweepers as awkward as possible, because look at our deck. Sweepers are going to be good against us. We're all elves, you know? So, I mean, if your opponent has Pyroclasm after we go Llanowar Elf into Llanowar Visionary, it's going to be good. You know, that's not a card that's played, and all of the Wrath-like effects cost 3 or 4 mana, where the whole goal during those turns is to stick one of your planeswalkers like Vivian, Karn, or Nissa so that their wraths then are still effective, but then you get to rebuild quite quickly with one of those planeswalkers, or in Vivian's case, you get to get a creature outside of Anger the God range, or, even just tick up and get it so you can -5 to get something big like an Elder Gargaroth or something like that. So that's the whole goal of the deck. It's a pretty easy deck to play, but once it gets to the later turns where you have Karn, Vivian, Nissa, any combination of these, and especially with like Leyline and Nissa, your lands now add double because they're a creature and a land. There's a lot of times when I've missed out on like a mana here or there, just getting used to the deck. It's not easy in that sense, and it's not easy knowing exactly what to tutor for, but the more you practice with, the more you understand the roles of these specific cards. So yeah, then the rest to talk about here, we got Voracious Hydra that I want to go down to a 3 of and turn it into a Wolf Willowhaven, and even go down to 2 and add another Llanowar Visionary because it is the weakest card in the deck. And maybe there's something better. People are playing Elder Gargaroth. I don't think that is what I want to be doing, but maybe there is something else even. Maybe another Planeswalker that we could do, or something like a Chroma's Memorial, more of those or something. Not sure about that. But for now, the changes I would make is one of these to Wolf Willowhaven, and that's it. Considering the Visionary, but the Visionaries aren't great either. So let's just do that for a change. And then the sideboard was very thought out when it comes to specific problems that I faced. Some of them are obvious. You need Tormod's Crypt. For that turn, you play it. If you're playing against a Dredge-style deck, any graveyard deck, a Karaxa coming down. Cage is under the same vein as that. Mazemind Tome, I don't use it very often, but we saw it be very good against this black-red deck that was trying to limit our resources very aggressively. That's a card that, over time, it'll draw you 4 cards. It's great. Spyglass, any great Planeswalkers. The Wand I haven't brought in yet, but, if there's any creature that is really, really good against us, maybe a Platinum Angel, Niv Mizzet, those kind of things where you just have to answer a creature on the same turn, it's decent, in theory at least. Lotus, if you just are land short, but you have a Karn and let's say a bunch of big stuff in your hand like Nissa, Vivian's, Leylines, and you just don't have enough mana, play the Lotus, and all of a sudden, it's kind of your Nykthos. That's one thing this deck is missing from the Pioneer version, and that's Nykthos. Nykthos is bananas. So that's the only small regard where this deck is worse than the Pioneer version. A couple Elder Gargaroth. This is the only card I really ever side in against these hyper-aggressive decks, mono black, mono red, that are just trying to get you dead. I like bringing in those, but even then, it's not that great. So I could see one of these actually turning into a Golos. Golos is not that particularly great in our deck, but something to play right after Karn as a 5-mana spell, just in case we don't have 6 mana. Because almost always, if you Karn and you have 6 mana, you get Godpharaoh Statue. But here's another one of those scenarios where I've had 5 mana, and I don't have anything great to tutor for, so I get like a Lotus or I get like a Mazemind Tome. But a good 5-mana one is, Golos, where you get to go get a Castle Garing Bridge or something. It's nothing great, but it's a curve filler. So I think that would be the one change I would make, is Elder Gargaroth to a Golos. But even that, it's not that great, so I could see it going without as well. Godpharaoh Statue is probably the one I search for the most, just because it's what you want to get down and then start developing the rest of your board, because it really makes them play in a tough way, as well as ticking up on Godpharaoh Statue. All of a sudden, you're attacking for 6. So this is a very popular one. This is another very popular one. Chroma's Memorial is just that effect where if they're playing Wrath effects, or, we played it against a black-red deck where they're just cold to it, you play this and just protects all your creatures, and it's quite busted. Meteor Golem, if you got that permanent that's really tricky to deal with, Nissa, Uro, maybe, just a point and shoot kind of thing, Platinum Angel, blue-white auras. They lose. It's game. That's kind of a tricky matchup, and here we go. This beautiful angel, dead on the spot. Crater Hoof Behemoth. Certain times with Vivian where it's just lethal. This is probably the one I search for the least. Just because you have to have 8 or 9 mana And you got to have a lot of creatures, which then you probably have more than 8 mana, and then you just want to go for Ulamog. So I don't bring this in much, but it's won me games. It feels like a win more to me, so I'm not super high on this one either. The Great Henge is pretty sweet. Whenever I have another creature in hand and a big battlefield already, where we're at kind of a stalemate, you know, this can happen against like mono red goblins where they kind of go super wide, where they like play 2 chain whirlers and you can't attack into it. You play a Great Henge and now you're just refilling constantly. So this is a good one. And then Ulamog. Ulamog is that dagger. Whenever you get to 10 mana and you can search for it, do it. It's good. So everybody, that's mono green, mono green ramp in historic. Brought to you by my good friend SBS0311. His name's Steve. He's always in my, my Discord, in my Twitch channels. Super nice guy. He'd been playing this deck. I picked it up, made some changes, but thanks to him for the initial list. And honestly, I haven't changed a card in the main deck so far. I thought it was great. So thank you to Steve and a shout out to you, buddy. A great deck. So, all right, everybody, that's going to do it for this week's Droppin Bombs. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week for more magical action. Bye-bye.